Welcome to Season 2, Week 3 of the Community Clash League by Heroes Hearth. My name is NotParadox, and I'll be hosting this awesome event here with me. He floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee, flows like water. Bahamut, how are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm super excited. We're in week 3. Week 3, like we've already. Oh my god! I have so much fun. I was actually watching the VOD as we were prepping for all of this, and it's just always fun to look back and be like, yeah, man, those plays from the previous week were so good. But we got a lot of good stuff for y'all tonight. But first things first, we got to tell you who's going to be playing this evening. We got some quick rosters to let you all see. We are going to have the 4 teams. We'll actually jump right into our match format. Actually, we got Lil Rubies going up against PentaNoms for match number 1. And then for our second best of 3 of the evening, it's going to be Not Safe for Work from Home, going up against Big Ding Energy. And now we can tell you who those players are, what players are on those teams, Paradox, because we got a lot of cool players here.
We definitely do. I mean, I'll read through them rather quickly. On Not Safe for Work from Home, we've got Russ, Turk, Selenity, Coffee, Kai Berries, Big Ding Energy. We've got Jazzy, Alora, Mockery, Vipey, Alicia Wins, Lil Rubies. We've got Lashes, Liam, Trikslyr, Kagirii, Lakefu. And then finally on PentaNoms, we've got Tim from Hero Fitness, Cow, Fergusson, Mewn, and Tatskichu, and Misspaws. Well, they're not just playing for bragging rights, right? I mean, what are they playing for, Baha?
Playing for cold, hard cash. We got a base prize pool. First place is going to be taking $500 and 40% of the community prize pool. Second place will take $400, 30% of that community prize pool. Third place is going to be $300 and 20%, and fourth place will be $200 and 10%. That prize pool that you all have been donating towards, I actually got the update from the admins, and I believe we are just shy of $1,500 that was raised over the first 2 weeks of CCL. So thank you all so much for supporting. Thank you for building this prize pool so much bigger than it initially was, and just we couldn't have done it without you, and we love you all so very much for doing that. But we gotta tell the people at home, how are they going to earn this money? How are they going to get to the end? How are they going to get to that final best of 7 series to determine who's going to take first and who's going to take second, Paradox?
They are going to have to win a full round robin or Swiss format initially. Then that's going to lead to the standings, which are going to go into a page playoff. Now, what is a page play format, Baha?
Well, so what we'll do is we'll have this round robin determining the seeding, and then we'll get into our week 1. So that's going to be next week. We'll be having 2 best of 3. So that's going to be the upper page, League Play 1 versus League Play 2. And we have our lower page, 3 and 4. So that'll be 2 best of 3s next week. The following week, week 5 of CCL, we get into our best of 5 series. That upper page loser has to then go on to tournament life. So they get that extra life. And then the bottom, well, if you lose, if you're 3 or 4, you're out, and you progress on if you've won, and then you're going to go up against them. And then finally, we get into our grand finals, which would be an unweighted best of 7. So none of that like, oh, they have +1 because they went through the top bracket. Nah, you got to win 4 games to take CCL season number 2 here, Paradox. But it's not just the community cheering this on. It's not just the base prize pool we have. Yeah. There's a sponsor as well, isn't there?
There is. So if you guys have not checked out the sponsor yet, I highly recommend it. Juked.gg has helped us out, and it is an awesome website with a collection of all of your favorite esports. You can follow different games, teams, players, while also checking out point of view streams for many of your favorite players. Check them out at juked.gg. And with that being said, what are we going to be getting into? We are seeing first, we've got Lil Rubies versus PentaNoms. What are you expecting out of this, Baha?
I'm expecting this to, I personally predicted this to go in favor of PentaNoms in a 2-1 fashion, but we are going to find ourselves here on Dragonshire for game number 1. And just to catch everyone up at home to find out how we got to Dragonshire for game number 1, the coin flip was initially won by PentaNoms. They opted for first pick priority for game number 1. They banned out Garden of Terror and Volskaya Foundry. The members of Little Rubies had map pick priority, banning out Sky Temple and Hanamura. And we are here on Dragonshire for our game number 2. And we'll hopefully get you all into draft here in just a second.
Yeah, either way. I'm excited. I mean, this is going to be a lot of fun to see. Right off the bat, we're seeing a Genji ban. Now, Genji did see some changes. I've actually played a little bit of Genji since these changes earlier today. You have a few things that are kind of interesting. You've got level 13, an increase of a potential 15% damage on auto attack. The rest of his talents are more defensive changes. But we've seen Mewn try to bring out Genji multiple times. In this case, he's like, I'm just going to ban it. I don't know what to worry. Like, I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to play it. And I don't even want to know how good it actually is. So we see Azul ban, Joanna ban, both relatively standard bans. I mean, anything else that you're expecting to be majorly different since the last patch? I do know that Trikslyr does know how to play the Lost Vikings, but they are second pick. Are they going to try to sneak that out? Because the Vikings just got a lot of changes.
I know. I will say this. I'm, and I said this before the broadcast as well. I'm a little sad they got rid of that unique cooldown reduction from their bribe. I thought that was such a cool factor. Now Nova's the only one who can actually bribe an entire camp to get 50% cooldown reduction on said camp, and I wonder if that eventually gets phased out as well. We'll have to see. I want to also note, though, in the patch, we had tower changes once again. So 10% damage reduction, and the armor reduction's only to -20 instead of -40 now. So I wonder if that means, do we see more aggression? Do we see more Diablo? I mean, do we see these Anubrak plays? Because also, didn't Anubrak get a little bit of a helping touch as well?
Yes, he did, and I was going to mention that I think Anubrak would be a solid option. We see Yrel being picked first. Now, Yrel is not as uncounterable as a lot of people might think. So even though Dragonshire is a map that you need to kind of pick something extremely powerful to win that top lane, we've talked about it. Liam knows the counter pick, and Liam is against them. So all Liam needs to do to win this lane is pick Malthael. But if the ban comes out, or if they play it right, then it's kind of go back and forth depending on how it goes. We do see Rhaegar and Li Ming get picked up. Rhaegar got a small buff to that level 20 Ancestral, but I mean, hey, I'm a Bloodlust fan, right?
Think that buff is awesome though, because it gives
really
viability. Cool. It gives viability for both, even more so. For Bloodlust and Ancestral.
It's really cool. I like it. I think it's really neat. So I think that's a great option. I would imagine a tank gets picked up right here, and maybe an Ana. We've seen Mewn play Ana, and we've seen Mewn run a lot of Ana compositions, and I think that would work out really well. We have the white main instead, which we've seen Misspaws' white main. It's a playmaker. So, and then we also have Tatskichu on Kael'thas. I mean, what happened to the Dark Horse Rainer, right? Like, Tatski's Rainer last season was wild, but I wonder if it's just that she's been practicing a lot of Kael'thas and she wants to focus on that Kael'thas now.
I think it's also really, really strong in some of these shrine fights as well. You're going to have constant 4v4s in the bottom lane, so being able to force people to spread out because of the chain bomb or the living bomb value is a really good tool in my opinion. I'm really excited about that. I just want to point out really quickly, because I can't skip over this, Jaegernaut with $100.69.
Oh, wow.
We've already met our player cash pool for the evening, so thank you so much for that. Wiseman with the 1,000 bits, thank you so much. Shady Tree with the 1,500 bits, thank you all so much for donating as we got through our bans. We had a Greymane and a Garrosh, getting rid of that Garrosh aggression, being able to kind of step into them. I wonder if they might play into an ETC on the side of PentaNoms. Garrosh is typically a little difficult for said ETC players.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of the thing. I mean, Garrosh, normally if you're banning Joanna, Garrosh is like the next step, because Joanna is, I mean, really strong against Garrosh. There's that Malthael versus the Yrel, so that's gonna be really good. Zarya being picked even though Garrosh is banned. What is another tank that doesn't have a lot of mobility that wants to get up there rather quickly? Or someone that can maybe want to get out? Is there any tanks, Baha, we were just talking about this, are there any tanks that want to get out of a fight with 50% increased movement speed?
I mean, Anubrak's really good still, Muradin's still really good. I don't like...
But that Stitch's health buff.
I know. I don't expect it. Like, as much as I really want a Stitches, I just don't I don't think they're gonna give it to us, especially because the Li Ming. Like, if it was like maybe a Malfurion and something like a Jaina, then I'd be like, yeah, that Stitch is a probability. But here I'm thinking we're gonna be locking them down. I really like the Anubrak, actually. I think the dive from it would work out really well. Oh dear lord, yes!
Oh yes!
Either they're watching stream or they've got bright ideas. So I'm happy about this. Thank you also to Ghost Bear for the 250 as you kicked off a hype train, as well as Deco. I think I missed that. And there are 10 subs coming in from Jaegernaut. Thank you so much. But this Stitches, I didn't think we'd get it. Like, I was just like, all right, you know, like I have to be like, the one time I'm serious and I'm just not like, yeah, like, let's see the meme. Like, let's see the Cho'Gall. We actually get the thing. Okay, all right, I'm happy about this. Like, we were talking about this before the start of the stream. I
Sure.
personally think that Stitches, those were good buffs, and that just really bumps them up into an even better place.
Yeah, I think it was just so funny because you were talking about it and you were like, man, Stitches, I think Stitches is pretty good right now. And then like, but then you were like, I don't want to bring up Stitches. I don't want to jinx it. Stitches. It's so great. But yeah, if you guys
I'll
are
just bring up a
unfamiliar
new
with, yeah, if you guys are unfamiliar with the changes that happened to Stitches, he got a small health buff, making him the highest health tank in the entire game. In fact, the highest health hero in the entire game, having more health than both Deathwing and Cho'Gall as a single hero. As well as he also got a little buff on a level 4 attack speed talent. With that being said, would you like to start by introducing Lil Rubies?
On the left-hand side, we got Lashes on the Zarya, not Kagirii on the Li Ming. Vesper's going to be on that Malthael, Lakefu on the Rhaegar, and Trikslyr on the Stitches.
On the right side, we have PentaNoms with Tatskichu on Kael'thas. We've got Kyle Fergusson on Yrel. We've got Tim from Hero Fitness on Arthas. We've got Mewnfare on Junkrat, and we've got Misspaws on Whitemane, and we've got a lot of subs. Can we talk about that?
I just like, I was gonna note this really quickly after we introduce teams. I see all of you in chat. We for the sub trains and the hype train, everything. Thank you all so much. But we got to get into game number 1 here as everyone's just diving into mid lane. We immediately have a lot of damage onto Trikslyr. Big Scoop does have the slowing auto attack speed and movement speed activated around them, so I could not think of it either. I'm just blown away. Thank you so much to the community. You all are wild right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one of the things that I like about this particular game, we have a lot of people on things that they've been practicing a lot.
Yes.
Liam's been practicing a lot of Malthael. We've got Kyle Fergusson, who's been practicing, Kyle Fergusson practicing a ton of Yrel. And then we have some people on their mains, right? We've got Tim from Hero Fitness. Arthas main tank is his main hero. That is his main thing. And against, I mean, Trikslyr I haven't seen Trikslyr play a lot of Stitches, but recently, but he has played it a lot in the past. Lakefu on her healers. I mean, this is going to be a powerhouse of a game.
This is such a strong start. So much aggression just pushing face into each other. And it's like, I'll say this, Eternal Hunger for Arthas picked up at level 1. It is uncapped, and they're already halfway through that baseline quest. Or the baseline amount, so that's not too bad for them. Kael'thas is going to be Mana Addict at level 1, picking up those regeneration globes, 3 out of the 20. But this is what I was hoping for here. Is Stitches being able to get hungry for more. Because if you, like, I think I had a Stitches game where I was on Tomb of the Spider Queen, and I had like 40 or 50, and my health pool was over 10k.
It honestly, it stacks up fast. And you also need to remember, like, with this also, this extra health that you start off, it's gonna be a lot easier to stack those up rather quickly, because you just have this extra health that scales. And so it's gonna be a wild one. I'm ready for it. Trikslyr is double soaking, wants to get those globes as fast as possible. Mewn doing his best to try to deny that, but currently Lil Rubies has control over the entire map without needing to worry too much. Big Scoop is getting rather low, but he is able to stay alive. They just need to deal with this particular camp. We have Kyle's having a bit of trouble up there, but again, I mean, this is Liam going against the hero that he's known for, right? It's Liam going against Yrel. He knows everything about Yrel. He knows what counters Yrel. So, I mean, Kyle has a big shadow right now to try to deal with, but he's dealing with it. I mean, he is covering it, even despite having to deal with extra camps that are up there, and he's holding his own against a counter pick.
Yeah, the other thing too that I forgot to mention is Stitch's baseline regeneration went up as well, and that level 1 does affect your regeneration on top of all that. So I'll try and keep you all up to date of what their regeneration will be looking like, but we'll look at that a little bit later. Right now it is going to be this contest over bottom and top. It seems like the members of PentaNoms could potentially get themselves a Dragonite for the first time in this game. Frost Presence will be stopped by Big Scoop. They managed to get the Dragonite mid. Big Scoop is taking a lot of damage here. I don't know if they're going to be able to live. Whitemane ran out of mana, and they don't have any more healing for them, and they'll be able to sustain that and get the Dragonite, but they still lose over First Blood onto the side of Lil Rubies.
This game is, I mean, I can't speak too soon, but right now this game is looking really close. I mean, anytime that like one team gets a kill, the other team gets the Dragonite. Dragonite doesn't get too much value, just gets one turret down, and that's about it. It's really going back and forth. The damage as far as these teams are going are relatively close as well. I mean, Junkrat and KT are doing significantly more damage than Li Ming and Zarya, but we still haven't hit the prime of this, right? I mean, this whole team comp is around, well, I'd imagine it was around Gorge with the 50% movement speed, but instead we see Zarya going more towards Give Me 20, which is that quest talent level 4 that increases the amount of shielding, and I believe when you complete the quest, it is cooldown reduction on the shield as well.
Yes. Permanent cooldown reduction. So I was watching this camp and I was thinking about this for a second. Moon was in that Dragonite being chased by 2 people, but only specifically kicked Trikslyr, and I feel like that's like a little bit of a targeted thing. I don't know about you if you noticed that, but it was just like they could have kicked other people away. They could have kicked people towards their own base. Instead, they ended up just waiting to kick Trikslyr, so it's just a little funny thing is we're up to 8s. We do have bottom lane pressure coming in favor for Lil Rubies, trying to defend on the side of PentaNoms, making sure they're not spreading that living bomb. You can see Lakefu on the left-hand side just kind of backing off as they're a little bit low. Gets a chain healing out. Li Ming dumps in a combo, doesn't connect onto the structure. But they're able to clear out this camp, only losing their well as the front gate. But lane sustain here, Paradox, has been removed from bottom lane, and we all know lane sustain is such an important factor on this map.
It is. I mean, this is one of those maps that the team that usually wins, unless you're doing some crazy strategies, is the team that can control between middle and bottom lane, because even if you start losing top lane, you'll have more experience, you'll have more siege potential, and you also have that like 2 different fountains you could go for. There's a potential of 3 different camps, so these bottom lanes are very, very powerful even if you're struggling in top. But right here we've got Kyle coming in from the top lane and tried to go for a knockback, but decided he ended up just wanting to leave because they didn't really want to go for this. However, Trikslyr is getting slowed. They end up just getting them out, though. I mean, these teams are playing rather safe. They're not taking these crazy aggressive plays. They're just focusing on getting to just a couple little things here and there, but we're approaching level 10s. Any craziness are we expecting out of these ults, or do you think it's mostly
maybe Pyroblast for top? No, they're going to Phoenix for zoning potential as the Army of the Dead comes out from Big Scoop. There's going to be the Phoenix from Tatskichu. Riptire from the Junkrat will be chasing on in. Li Ming's the first one to go down. Lash is getting a little bit low. Riptire goes out, doesn't find the kill. Trikslyr finds a Gorge onto Big Scoop. They are far from their friendly side. Now remember, armor reductions only to -20, but hey, you're trapped between a lot of players. You're not even able to get out. Junkrat, though, going to make the quick call into mid lane, and they get the Dragonite. So same thing again here, Paradox. They give over 1 kill and grab a Dragonite. I think at this point, the siege potential, that's worth.
I definitely think it is. I mean, 1 kill in the early game isn't usually worth too much. I like telling people that at level 1, a wave of experience is worth 2 kills. And then it evens out about level 7, and it takes to about level 13 before a kill's worth like 2 waves. And it shifts around like that. So that's the same idea. If you can get this huge siege damage early rather than kills, then you have more potential to get those kills later when they're more impactful. And I think that's one thing that PentaNoms is doing really well. They're getting the siege when they need it, and now look at this. They're going to have a better chance at getting these kills when they're in a situation like this. Lash is getting super low, gets taken out, and Liam had to just kind of take a step away, and now they're even on those kills and ahead on structures.
They have a wave with them as well, and they said, you know what, we're here. As long as the structure's not targeting us, we can take this down, but they're trying to do everything. Gorge onto Big Scoop once again. Riptire coming out from Junkrat, going to be hitting onto Vesper. They're just going to target onto Malthael, trying to get the 1-for-1 trade. Doesn't look like that's going to happen as they get the 1 kill onto Big Scoop, and now they chase in further, but the minion wave blocks the combo from Kagirii. Moon going to continue to poke onto Lakefu. I think they're going to try and press into them. They're on top of their... No, they get out. Okay. I was going to say, they're on top of the concussion mine. Are they going to try and chase into Lakefu, or are they going to use it as a disengage? And they end up just getting away from that and just going to go back into soaking, looking for 13 talents here. But even though it's 3-2 in kills, the structure damage, the experience that they've gotten from the Dragonite, as well as just the consistent lane rotations, has yielded them even experience actually a little bit ahead.
It has. I mean, they're about, I'd say, a third, fourth of a level ahead, and with that middle fort gone, that will increase their passive experience gain by 20% for the rest of this game, and that will be significant as long as the opposing team can't equal that same fort. So, I mean, it's looking good. We do have a pretty good hook there. Gorge wasn't up for another 0.5 seconds, so he wasn't able to get that Gorge off, and yeah, I mean, 13s.
I think I might curse myself, but do you want to try and get into comms like right after they grab these camps on the side of Lil Rubies just to see what their positioning conversation is?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's jump in there now to Lil Rubies.
All right, we'll clear out this night camp. We'll be good. You're all top. Rest are bottom.
Killed it.
Good focus. I'm looking white main.
Zombies really,
Let's army the
really
dead.
early.
Wait out. Wait out, army the dead, and then we might all try and fight. Focus
That's
is
grab.
nice spell if we can, guys. Nice. Good grab. Nice oxygen. I'm gonna grab.
Oh,
That's okay. Alright, let's see if we can get some
so
air.
low.
I've got full energy.
All right, some calm comms, but they're actually going to get into a fight as we literally jump out of there. I thought that they were going to disengage, but no. Lakefu steps up and they're going to get a kill. But Paradox, that's very calm comms coming out from these, from at least from Lil Rubies.
Yeah, it really is. There were a couple things that kind of surprised me. I mean, he's going to Gorge build and he didn't go the longer hook. He went for the 80% slow instead. Now, I love that talent, but I usually don't take it if I'm going to try to make Gorge a big piece of what we're doing.
Right.
I do like that we see Ancestral, though. I'd imagine Lakefu's tried out the new level 20, and I think it would be great to see that. But yeah, those comms were very light. I mean, I think they thought they just had kind of everything. They're like, oh, let's just deal with this. Let's deal with this. And I think the grab kind of threw him because it was like, I mean, Lashes hit 3 people with that grab. And they were like, well, do we go in on this? We wanted to just kind of sit back, but that's a really good grab, you know?
Right. And I think it just, I don't know, it was all set up right there, and they all had the right idea, just I don't think they had the combos and the placement, because I think if Kagirii was a little further away, maybe Li Ming would have popped off a little further, especially because of the Triumvirate at level 4 for her. So we'll see how these fights progress, and maybe they can come back off a little bit as they throw out a combo. Big Scoop is just going to take the majority of that damage and kind of heal right back up. Junkrat is sitting in the bush in top lane. I actually want to see if they're able to dive onto Liam. There's going to be a Righteous Hammer to force them back, but can they actually get the kill onto this Paradox?
I don't believe so. I mean, he ended up going Shroud of Wisdom, which is an interesting talent. If he times it right, he's not going to die. Down in the bottom lane, though, we do have an amazing grab, able to pick up Misspaws after they got a kill. Now this is the time that they could take this without even needing to get a Dragon Knight. They could just take the fort. That'll even up the forts on this map, and it'll be great for experience. We do have level 16s from both of these teams. And this could potentially be a Dragon Knight. It may be a little difficult, though, because, I mean, we've seen a Urel and a Junkrat stall, and they can stall for a long time.
For anyone wondering really quickly, I know Trikslyr's casually 1v3ing. Li Ming actually going to come in here and try and save them. Ancestral just in time is that's going to be a Lacerates onto Big Scoop on the right-hand side. Riptire comes out from Mewnfare as well. Jaraska's trying to get out of here, and I think they'll be able to disengage, but they grab the Dragon Knight on the side of Lil Rubies. What I wanted to note is that Lil Rubies, Trikslyr has 33 regeneration globes. Their current regeneration of their health is 12.25. Their baseline health is 6,894. That's huge. It's just books, and we're still 12 minutes into this game. Like, there's a lot more that they're going to be sustaining from that. Tatskichu actually going to get hooked from the side. Will they be able to find a kill onto her as Lakefu is just coming in here? Concussion Mine splits them. Graviton Surge will pull them back in. There's going to be a steel trap. They find the kill onto Tatskichu. Can they make another one happen here?
I don't know, but that Mewn played that so well to keep Tatskichu alive, and then Tatskichu still ended up getting dropped. So it was an amazing position that Trikslyr dropped her in, because that made sure that even if he didn't get it, someone else would have gotten that kill, and Kagirii did a good job at cleaning that up. Kagirii's just like, you know what, I'm just going to do some damage to structure. But that was a pretty good route right there. We got to be careful, though, because Arthas can permanently slow, so if he catches onto this Stitches, there's no way Stitches is going to get out unless you can CC him. And we've got a lot of people jumping in right now. We've got Kyle just trying to slow him down. Lash is going to get taken out. And we also have an extra tire going out, seeing if they can't get anything else from that. This is really a back and forth, this game. Every time, I think it's a mix of like over chasing, overstaying, but it's also very calculated when these teams want to turn this around.
Bottom lane fort will go down as they got a double kill right there, and honest to God, these late game concussion mines from Moon are just so on point. Like, as you just said about Tatskichu, but even then, like the one that they just threw and pulled Trikslyr back in to find that kill for that team. These are just really on point. And we were actually talking about this last week, and we had said that they were playing Storm League and they were spamming Junkrat in the previous games to last week, and that might be the case into this week as well. And now they're even more comfortable, and they're just like, all right, cool. I know how to use my concussion mines even more aggressive or defensively, as they're gonna try and steal that camp, but they realize, you know what, we might have overextended. Everyone's coming back. And actually, no, they're just grouping up for this. Arthas rotating from bottom lane. Will they be able to rotate over here in time? Durell jumps in. They're going to be trying to use the Righteous Hammer to force them back. Gravity Lapse comes out as well from Tatskichu. His Big Scoop finds a flank. Phoenix will be out as well. Ancestor healing onto Vesper as we have such a split fight happening. No one's actually on the point. Misspaws just sneaks in and grabs that. Tatskichu going to be split with Vesper onto them. Last rights onto Tatskichu. Does get the healing from Misspaws in time on the left-hand side of the screen. Arthas drops a root as we have the Riptide onto Vesper. They're going to try and make their way out of here. Unfortunately, they're not able to get the dip, dive, and dodge that they typically do, and that'll be a single kill, but a whole lot of value coming out in favor for the members of PentaNoms with camps across the map.
Oh yeah, I mean, they have camps everywhere. They've painted this map red, and now they are looking to get a very easy Dragonite because they'll be able to control top, bottom, and they actually changed who was there. They were like, you know what? We don't want Urel in the Dragonite. We want KT in the Dragonite because they keep jumping on KT, so we don't even want to worry about it. And this is another Dragonite in favor for them. They're going to walk it just straight up. After they've nerfed some of these changes with these towers, they're like, we're not really too worried about it. We just want to go take this fight and see what structures we can get done. So this is a pretty big Dragonite. It scales with the game length. So a 15-minute Dragonite is got a pretty decent health bar.
Yeah, that Dragonite's going to be 18,000 health, and it hits for 365 in auto. They're going to go for this keep in mid lane instead of PentaNoms. They did a big scoop getting gorged right there below us. There's going to be a hook on a Misspaws. Mewnfare is going to be poking from a distance. Dragonite does go down. Tarrasque on the keep as well. Tatskichu's trying to get out. Unfortunately, the Gravity Lapse will hit. The Riptide, I think, was interrupted. Tatskichu's so very low. There's a butt bite from Rhaegar to find the kill as Big Scoop is on an island by themselves. They're going to sacrifice themselves so the rest of the team can get out alive, but Malthael chasing onto Kyle. I think Kyle should be able to make it out of this, though.
Yeah, I mean, Lakefu doing a 90% slow to Mewnfare, but Mewnfare, I mean, just hops away. That's it. He plays a pretty mean Junkrat, honestly.
There was a last rights that went onto Kyle in top lane, and I didn't look to see if they had their. I'm sorry, I didn't realize Vesper was still chasing. Either way, I wasn't sure if they had the Ardent Defender up and available. But while that was happening, Vesper doesn't find a kill. They find themselves a fort in top lane. Ooh, but does Moon go down to this 1v1?
I think he was trying to bait a little bit, because if he can get Liam's mana low, Vesper's mana low, then he can't fight back anymore. Yeah. And now there's nothing that he can really do, so he just has to sit there and die, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, that was a really interesting play, because he would have lost that fight had Liam had more mana. So that was something that he clearly looked at and went, okay, he can only get maybe 2 or 3 Qs off, and if I can just kite him a little bit so that Misspaws can heal me enough to where he burns his mana with that, we just win it. And he used his No One Can Stop Death to come back alive, but that means that his next death is going to have a longer death timer. We've got the multi-gorge going out, picking up everyone, but unfortunately he's going to be dropping them all off around him. Amazing Graviton. We've got the ult going out on Lakefu as she charges back into their backline and does a ton of damage. But Kyle Fergusson is hopping around, doing even more damage and just dominating. This fight is going back and forth and currently is in the favor of PentaNoms. Trikslyr's out of position, going to be taken out, and now it's just Liam. And he didn't want to die because it would have been a longer death. So all he's going to do here is try to delay out this objective.
Let's talk about Ignite from Tatskichu and how that absolutely destroyed that fight. Like, I'm not saying like it was just Tatskichu, but like the fact that she could throw a Flame Strike out and apply Living Bomb, and then also be able to apply Living Bomb to all those people who were grouped up for that entirety of that fight. Like, Living Bomb just kept going around and around and around and around, and like I was like, oh no, PentaNoms is gonna lose this, and then all of a sudden they weren't losing it, and I was just like, why is this happening? And I just see Tatskichu throwing out damage, and I'm like, all right, well, that explains a lot of it. Vesper gonna try and jump to the far side of this lane. Dragonite isn't cappable yet. I think they're gonna try and give up on this chase and try and grab the top lane cap. But Vesper might be able to rotate into bottom lane. They do have On a Pale Horse, so they are moving quicker, but will they be able to move quick enough?
That is a question. I think that's what he's going through his mind right now. Is he's like, I can't make it. But
they only have to delay out for Kagirii to get here because Kagiri's got the range poke as well. So all Vesper needs to do is mark once, and then the rest of the team's right behind him. So unless Vesper gets picked off, that is definitely not what you want. Riptide comes out from Junkrat, doesn't actually find the kill. They do have a living bomb onto them. They're going to chase in further. Malfield does go down. That's the extended timer. Look, it's 80 seconds on that. But Paradox, we have Kyle pushing them around as well, and Lash is going to back off, but Dragonite is going to be interrupted by Kagirii.
Yeah, I mean, look at Kyle just sitting in the middle of 4 of them, dealing with everything, and forces the Gorge out. But with that Gorge being forced out, Kyle's still fine. He's just absolutely destroying their team. And the funniest part about this is that this is like my best definition of a long con. Kyle learned Yrel to beat Liam last season. And because they didn't want to keep wasting a ban on Yrel, he learned how to play Yrel so they could ban other things, and they were trying to ban out Leon Black so that they could have Liam dealt with and Leon Black dealt with. So he's been practicing this since season 1 of CCL, and it is paying off right now.
Core is starting to fall, everyone coming back up. There's 3 up and alive, 3 still waiting. You do have the core defense coming out for that 2-second stun. It won't be enough, the last rights are there, but that'll be game number 1 over to the side of PentaNoms. GG, well played.
That was, man, that was a game. That went back and forth so many times. I mean, both of these teams did so many things well, and so it's so difficult because we just didn't know. I saw Lil Rubies. They were. I mean, those Gorges were great in the beginning. But I mean, what do you think about the choice of? I think there were 3 major choices when you're going Gorge, right? The first choice is you go Gorge and you want to go the bigger hook, right? Because you want to make sure that you can pull people from further away. The second choice, the second choice is the speed barrier. I figured Gorge, speed barrier, they're gone. And then the third choice is multiple Gorge. Normally, when we see some of these Stitches players, they usually take like one of the like more defensive talents at 20, like the Resilience, right? I think it's called Shambling Horror. But I could have that wrong. But
you're right.
I'm a little surprised at those choices. Now, I do always love that 80% slow, though. But, I mean, what did you think about that? Going a Gorge comp, adjusting with some of those talents?
I think, yeah, because you definitely would have been able to maneuver around a lot quicker, and maybe they would have been able to make quicker value out of the Hungry for More, I believe it is. Hungry Stitches, excuse me. And so maybe you would have been able to speed around a little bit quicker and be able to grab more people. Fishing Hook, I 100% agree with. Like, I personally play, like when I play Stitches, I like to play into the Putrid Bile, so I go for that slam slow, so that way I can, slam Putrid Bile around them, keep auto-attacking, body block, all that. It's a very in-your-face, that's kind of how I like to play them. So with this, I absolutely love the Pulverize, that 80% slow for 0.75 seconds, but with Gorge, I agree with you 100%, at least that Fishing Hook at level 13.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, what are you expecting any particular maps out of this this next one? I mean, I know Lakefu's Alex Straza is like game changing, so I always want to see like Infernal Shrines, but a Tomb could work as well. I mean, if they're gonna go for Stitches again, then Tomb's a great one. But I don't know. I mean, I'd love to see what we end up going to. But yeah, I mean, these teams, what do you think needs to be adjusted? What do you think? I mean, we saw an amazing showing, but both of them were very close to turning that game into either side. So adjustments as far as play styles. Was there a specific play style that you think would have
I love the aggression from Lil Rubies in game number 1 here on Dragonshy. They were invading onto the enemy side siege giants, and they were taking camps aggressively and playing into the aggressive side so they could get like that whole thing in top lane where there was 2 players trying to kill Liam and they got the fort. All the time in bottom lane they were opening up bottom to trying to make a win condition if they got Dragonite next. So I think they had a lot of good plays, but what ended up happening is they forced too many late game fights in too many areas that were beneficial to the enemy team. Specifically, I was harping on in the match, Tatskichu on the Kael'thas being able to get consistent and so much living bomb value that the enemy team was just shredded. Like I think that fight would have gone 100% the other way around because they had the Graviton Surge with the Silence upgrade at level 20 as well. but the living bomb forced them to step up, get all, hit by it, and then they had to start spreading out. And once they started spreading out, that was when they could capitalize. So I think being aggressive still, but not overly aggressive, because I think that's kind of what happened, because Stitches had at one point 7k plus health, so they're able to tank a lot of damage. It's just one of those situations where I'm like, all right, well, yes, you can tank a lot of damage, but can you kill the enemy team fast enough before they kill your main tank and then just roll right through the rest, which was exactly that fight.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. With that being said, let's talk about some of these bits donations. We just have Corncasts do a bit donation. We also had during that game Ghost Bear 500 bits. We have Somnorium with 500 bits. We've got Justarius the Red. Guys, if you're wondering why we are bringing up these bits, all of the bits help this event run smooth. All of these events, these bits, the donations, all of that go to building this prize pool so that we can bring in more players. We can have a bigger event with even more people that you guys love following, more teams to root for. It's all here to keep these events running, and it's just and I just want to thank you guys seriously so much for all of the bits you guys have donated, all of the subs you guys have donated, because every little bit helps out, and it really, really makes this event run. And we definitely want to be seeing a season 3. I mean, we still have 3 more weeks of this, which is awesome. And it's only going to get better, too. All of these teams are getting more coordinated. All of these teams are practicing more. So that's the best part about this. But the more you guys donate, the more we see, the more excited these players get, the more serious they get. So definitely, if you guys want to do that, Widgets33, that is a 500 bits. Thank you so much. Democritus, 300 bits. If I'm butchering any of your names, I apologize. Ted7, 500 bits. Thank you guys. Seriously.
Coming in hot with all these bits for all of us. Thank you all so very much. We have all the players into lobby, as I accidentally invited the wrong person. I saw a miss and I was like, that's the right person.
That's Misspaws.
That's Misspaws. All right, there we go. So we got everyone. I was just like, why is there someone else joining? Okay, so let me just double check everything, make sure we have our banners all set. Okay, all right. So thank you all for supporting us. Thank you, as Paradox went through while he was vamping for me so I could get all the players into lobby. Wait, what? 7,000 bits from Anonymous. Whoever you are, thank you. Holy crap.
An anonymous cheer.
Okay.
7,000 bits.
Yeah. Whew, thank you so much. I think that literally kicked us up near 50%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, guys, you know what's better than 45%?
What's that? Oh my god. Oh my god.
47%. Oh wait, we're at 49%.
Angry Dwarf and Jaegernut came in here.
50%. Angry Dwarf. Wow. And oh man, Jaegernut back again. 3,000
Thank you all seriously so much for supporting our grassroots scene, for supporting these players. Paradox went through and explained exactly why and where these bits go to, and thank you all for seriously being here and supporting. And Workhorse, thanks for dumping 5 gifted subs into the channel. Okay.
Ooh, Cracklin with 1,500. Right on. We are at 58%. You know what's better than 58%? I've been setting my sights a little too low, I think. Right?
All right. Let's get into game number 2 here.
158 bits is better than 58 bits. 158%. We can do this. Wait, we're at 62% already.
Let's at least get to 69. Let's get into Team of the Spider Queen here, as you are all helping us collect gems for these players. Let's see what these players are able to collect on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, Paradox was saying this is another good map for Stitches, and if they want to go into that double soaking through top to mid, you get a lot of value from there. You can definitely build up all of the level 1 Hungry for More, I think it is, questing stack. So I didn't look at the end and see how many Trikslyr had, but I think they were plus 40, which is just still wild even on Dragonshire. Other things, what do you like Kel'Thuzad maybe, like Asmodan, Lost Vikings? What's the jam here?
Yeah, usually on Tomb of the Spider Queen, the team that wins is the one that can get control over mid and top, getting as much double soaking as possible. Then you have teams that can influence the objectives, right? Ragnaros can mitigate the opposing team's objectives, while some other teams can benefit the pushes, like Sylvanas. But I find that the teams that usually win in the late game are the teams that can force fights, because it's a map that you could poke away the objectives in a long time. People can run away from fights a lot. So people who can force a fight, like an Entomb or something in the late game, that's what I usually find. Double soaking in the early game, control of the camps in the mid game, and then something that can force a fight in the late game. That's usually what I find to have the best value on this particular map. And we've got a Yrel already.
For anyone sitting at home wondering, like, wait a minute, like I might have missed a bit of first game. How did we get to Tomb of the Spider Queen? Let me get you all caught up. Sky Temple and Hanamura were banned up by the members of Lil Rubies. Garden of Terror and Volskaya Foundry banned up by the members of PentaNoms. Dragonshire was the first map chosen by Lil Rubies, and they lost that. The losing team can either choose first pick or map pick. They opted for first pick on the side of Lil Rubies, meaning PentaNoms have chosen the map of Tomb of the Spider Queen. Gonna go ahead and grab themselves a Jaina and a Greymane. I'll be honest here, that's a very, very strong 1-2 pick. But do you know what else goes really well with Jaina Greymane?
Jukejaw GG? No, sorry. What goes good with that? I'm so sorry. We're not doing that. Cho'Gall does go really good with
this is a map where I think you can actually you can pick him and you can get value, but that's going to be a Garrosh Deckard. That's a terrifying triple. That's just a triple threat right there to bring things out.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is Lakefu is on our main. We've got Yrel out there. Yrel works really well with Garrosh if you don't want to run the Zarya, but Lashes plays a mean Zarya, so they still have that potential as well. That gives them the forced fights. They just need wave clear now. So Kagirii just needs to play literally anything with wave clear, and their whole team comp set. So I really like that team comp from Lil Rubies if that's what they decide to go with. On the other side, I mean, what do you want to see out of PentaNoms right now?
I mean, like, wholeheartedly, I actually do legit want to see a Cho'Gall. I would love one, because here's my argument for it. Big scoop. That's the whole argument. That's the Heroes of Fitness thing. Like, they play Cho'Gall, so you have like half of a very, very good practice Cho'Gall, and then you have someone who's just, oh no, that's it. Dang it. All right. Leorc is not bad. Entomb sets you up. Mosh pit. You know what I've actually seen some teams do? They actually go for the Entomb, but they don't want the ETC inside the Entomb.
No.
The ETC power slides to the side and mosh pits the side of the Entomb, which has always been like an interesting thing that I've seen teams go for as well. But I don't hate this whatsoever. Like, really good single target blow up, really good wombo, wave clear, and a Gul'dan to come on the left-hand side. I really like this Paradox. Good wave clear from them, and even then just lockdown, Gul'dan can dump down damage, and you have boss control as well with the Horrify.
Yeah, no, I like this. I think this is pretty good. We don't end up going with the Zarya, but again, we still have that Hand of Freedom, right? You can't be slowed. It removes all slows, removes all roots, and 35% increased movement speed that could go with Garrosh. Go in, force a fight if they need to. Then they also still have a lot of wave clear, a lot of damage. So I do think that's a pretty good option for it. As far as this last pick, Misspaws, I mean, I could take a guess.
Ooh.
Oh, that is not Whitemane.
I like this though, because
let me move the bands a little bit. No, Whitemane's not banned. Not hearing.
I really like this because. So you have Greymane who wants to dive in, ETC wants to dive in, Leorc wants to be in the enemy somewhere. Malfurion marks you, and you can be wherever you want to be on the map. So I actually think this is a really good pickup. So that way, Mewnfare, if they're going to stay on the roles that they are on the draft screen here, Greymane can dive in and be aggressive and far away from the team, and so can Leorc and ET. Like, I think this is just a really smart pickup for the PentaNoms. But my prediction was it was a 2-1. And I'm not gonna lie, this Garrosh looks terrifying, and Decker Kane paired with that, as well as
and Liam got his Liam got his Yrel. Liam has an 87% win rate with Yrel as #1 GM in North America. Like, he has his main. Is it the best map for Yrel? I don't know. I'm not the URL main, what do I know? But we are getting into this game. I'll start off by introducing the left side, Lil Rubies. We have Trikslyr on Garrosh, we've got Kagirii on Raynor, we've got Lakefu on Deckard, we've got Lashes on Gul'dan, and we have Liam on playing Vespertine on Yrel.
On the right-hand side, we got the members of PentaNoms up 1 in our best-of-3 series here, trying to close it out in a 2-0 fashion. We've got Tarask, or Kyle, as we will also say, on the Leoric. Mewnfare is going to be on that Grey Mane. Big Scoop, or Tim, as we also say, will be on that ETC. Tatskichu is going to be on the Jaina, and Misspaws will be on that Malfurion. Hoda, thank you for the 1,500 bits. Odin, thank you for the 100 bits. And Odin, once again, thank you for the 1,000 bits. As we get into game number 2 here on Tomb of the Spider Queen of our first of 2 best-of-3s.
Yeah, this is, I mean, this is going to be interesting. I do like the Malfurion for a lot of reasons. I mean, Malfurion's one of my favorite heroes in this game, so I'm going to, of course, talk about it. But against Gul'dan, it's interesting because you can actually cover a lot of the damage that he does in healing. And, ooh, that was a great slide. Not too much of a punishment. He played it out very safe, too. Trick, again, they're both playing it very safe, just throwing each other around a little bit, but not doing too much. But yeah, I like Malfurion. I think that he'll be able to cover a lot of the healing. The downside is that single target damage. If Kagirii, if Lashes, and Trikslyr, if they all throw in that target and they all focus the same target, it's gonna be really hard for Malfurion to keep that target alive. And it looks like Mewn's in a rough spot.
They're going to find themselves a little far from the team, but they managed to get out of there, and that's the Malfurion healing. They can be that aggressive. I also want to point out, level 1, ETC did go into block party, meaning that they're going to be able to give friendly members around them armor. So that means ETC uses an ability, Grey Mane gets 75 armor, they can dive in further, and they can just still tank some of this auto attack damage from Kagirii. Now, they have to worry about Lashes on this Gul'dan, I will admit, because that Gul'dan is going to scale. They did go into Echoed Corruption at level 1, which doesn't give you any sort of damage increase, but it gives you those back steps on it, or it gives you the repeated, the reverse steps. There you go. That's the better way to say it. And that can be huge, especially with how you can scale into it with other talents throughout the rest of the game. So we'll have to keep an eye on that damage as it does progress here. But we're in the start of Tomb of Spider Queen here. Paradox is typically just lane rotations, grabbing these gems. We do see a camp being grabbed on the left-hand side a little early, in my opinion. Actually, no, maybe I'm wrong on this, because Mewnfare is going to grab it on the right-hand side. I typically see teams grab that's closer to the turn-in for the Webweaver, so they can get armor, spell armor plus the Webweaver. Do you see differently, or is this kind of just like the 2-minute call, you always go for that?
Honestly, if you're going to go for a camp, you usually go for it at 1 minute, and that's a lot of damage out to Tatskichu. She leaves with just a little under 100 health. Yeah, I mean, normally you go for it like right at 1 minute if you want to get like an experience lead, but if you're expecting, and if you get it at 1 minute, it'll be up by the turn-in. But if you get it at 2 minutes, it's a little late for either of these teams. I think it was just a matter of like, well, we're seeing that we can get this turn-in, so maybe we get the camp now, or they're maybe doing it just for pressure. Some teams will pick up that camp just to apply pressure so they can maybe go for a play. But it seems like both these teams kind of just took it because it was available and they wanted to play a little safe.
I have 2 really quick, like, non-game related things. I just want to ask you, is your game getting like little spikes? I just want to make sure that maybe I have to restart my computer in between these sets.
I am not getting any little spikes,
okay,
so you may want to...
Second thing is going to be Desert Jester. Thank you for the 5,000 bits as we get into a potential team fight in mid lane. Big Scoop's going to get the power slide through. That's going to be a toss on Misspaws. She's going to try and get out of the roots zone back to the enemy team, but Vesper's going to jump into their face with the Righteous Hammer and forces them back into the enemy team. That will be Lil Rubies with first blood on Tomb of the Spider Queen. His Big Scoop doubles back for a second, but is going to be able to get out of there.
Yeah, is Liam going to be able to interrupt? He just scares him off a little bit, and it's going to be really interesting. But yeah, it's going to be, I don't know. I'm waiting to see how much impact this Yrel is going to bring. Liam on Yrel last season did not lose a single game on Yrel. Liam won every single game. The only time that his team lost any games was when Yrel was banned. So to see him on Yrel, even on this map, he was able to win quite well. Now, what are they going to do? Both teams are closing in on a turn-in. Are we expecting anything crazy happening? We do see Blue sneaking that turn-in. Are they going to be able to push out? Is Trikslyr going to be able to live? Mewnfare is getting really close to trying to kill Trikslyr, and Trikslyr ends up getting taken out. Great slide by Big Scoop, and despite, it's kind of the opposite of what happened on Dragonshire, right? Blue team got the turn-in, but red team did sneak a kill before that turn-in. This will allow that first turn-in to be not too impactful because red team can push this out, and if they push this out, then what's going to end up happening? You're going to have the Web Weaver spawn closer to blue side, and they're going to decay in health as they're pushing towards red side.
That was an easy clear into top lane. Ooh, wait, Vesper? No, they're going to be fine. So Vespers, they're going to be able to clear out top lane. They're going to move into mid. They're going to get some siege into mid lane here. Let's actually jump into the Lil Rubies comms as they are going to be trying to push into this enemy side.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna push out one more top, then I can group or go bottom.
Okay. Leo has 30 gems on him. Oh, I may go catch this.
Yeah?
Yeah, can we
I'm
focus
with
this?
you.
Watch out for ETC, don't grip too hard.
They have two top, they have two top.
That's fine. Good damage.
They're coming now, they're coming bottom.
All good. He's pretty chunked.
I'm gonna head back bottom if you guys wanna go.
Yeah, you guys want to come back middle if you can.
Try to watch this turn in as well.
I always do it so very well. I thought the Web Weaver phase would last a lot longer. Unfortunately, not the case. So we got to hear a little bit of that, though. We see Trikslyr and friends. They are being aggressive. This is what we were talking about in game number 1. Trikslyr was looking to chase into Leork, who was using the Wraith Walk to get out of there. But now they find Mewnfare is a little far away from their friendly sign. Toss gets them even further out, and that's going to be Greymane going down as they push a little bit further in their experience, actually evening things out on the side of Lil Rubies.
Yeah, it is. I mean, one thing that I'm looking at, though, do you see this in the bottom right corner? They have nearing a double turn-in, and one of the best parts about this map is if you can ever get a double turn-in, you can bring a ton of impact to this game. However, Big Scoop gets taken out, and that's a lot of gems drop down, and they're defending them. So this is a great answer. Is a double turn-in is a huge swing in momentum, but the problem is you're holding a lot of gems that you could just lose that value out of just a single pick like that.
Well, they'll go ahead and at least get the turn in that they have. Big Scoop is going to come back from death in just a second. Lanes are pretty much in the mid position here. So let's try this again. Web Weaver's going to start. Let's jump into not Lil Rubies, into PentaNoms comms and see what we're going to be hearing for their siege and their pressure.
Sounds good.
Okay, we clear this, and then we just start pushing middle. They're leaving top for some reason.
Just assume I'm gonna slide and I'm trying to get full pinball
Okay.
with good value.
Yep, we can burst. Do not be scared of this Garrosh, okay?
Can't watch it.
Really important. He has to die. If he runs at us, we hit him. Don't run away, we hit him. Okay, don't need to run out of Hyperion, it does no damage. Garrosh is taking a bunch of free damage right now. Good stuff. Getting the healing wall, we still have a wave here. Our wave's still pushing top. See, not scary at all.
Liam's behind us.
They stack their fears. Don't worry. Don't be scared.
Alright, coming back in.
Nice one.
Still
Good job.
He's absorbing.
Oh, I'm so dead. Sorry, guys. Didn't realize it was in the tower.
Oh, tricks are so low. We'll probably
got
just have to
upward.
disengage.
Well, things started out well for them. Good shot calling from Moon, just, encouraging them, saying, don't be scared of this, like, just step into that. Like, it's just saying, like, if you step in, I've got you, or, we'll be there with you. So, good confidence boosting within their friendly team, but unfortunately just not able to capitalize on. You heard Tim say, like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, they realized they were under tower shots just as they dropped that mosh, unfortunately. So, didn't work out for them, but they don't lose out too much. They get a little pressure with these Web Weavers, and Kyle still has 40 gems, but now they're on the defensive foot, Paradox.
They are, and it's going to be rough. They didn't get a lot done with that turn-in. The one benefit is they do have top down, which if you know anything about Tomb of the Spider Queen, you know that there's usually a little bit of a priority on top lane during the objective because top lane is the only lane that the boss will ever push down. So they did get at least that out of that turn-in. They do have top control, but at the same time, I mean, this is Lil Rubies with a turn-in, up 4-1 in kills and closing in on that level 13 power spike. And for that spike, that's pretty big for Yrel. That's a 30% increased damage on nearly everything for Yrel, and a 30% increased healing, self-healing anyways, from that as well. And then we also have, I mean, Deckard has 2 major choices for that power spike as well, for that tier.
Did you see Vesper's health go from a sliver to back to full because of Ardent Defender during that fight when we were in their comms? Because I was just oh no, Kyle has a Wraith Walk. Do they have enough health? Okay, no, they'll be able to get out of there. But that just the Ardent Defender used by Vesper as they got hit with the Ring of Frost, and just as everyone used the Dark Flight, Power Slide, everything's on top of them, they managed to hit that R button right beforehand, and they get full health bar, and they turn things around. Like, I looked over at chat, and someone caught that, like, Liam with the bait, and I was like, oh, that is exactly what happened right there. But the Web Weavers will be cleared out. We are going to be seeing bottom lane getting pushed in. Mid lane, they're trying to make something happen here. They do have turn on the opposing side. Lil Rubies not too far off themselves, as there might be a fight being forced into mid lane. No, they just throw one minion away, trying to get at the hero.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, that's what you get when you are the master on a particular hero. It's like you can handle situations like this. We did have the Hand of Freedom give a little bit of movement speed to Garrosh, but it's a little late. We got a great Mosh going out. The Fear just cancels the Mosh, but it's nice to burn that. We also have that Fear bringing Kagirii into a rough position. Trikslyr's getting rather low. Liam's also getting rather low, but has his ult still available. And that is going to be Kyle training to just barely keep himself up, uses a March to get just that little bit of extra health. That is a lot of ults used from both teams to get almost nothing actually done. But that's awesome to be able to set up and then have everyone turn that fight around a little bit. I mean, that's one of the coolest parts about watching competitive is when a team can take a situation that looks really scary and keep it going and keep everything alive. And that, I mean, that's some playing safe. And both these teams are looking for level 20, right? You've got Deckard has some awesome level 20 talents. Haunt is awesome. We've got the Unstoppable coming out from Yrel, but really, PentaNoms level 20, let's talk about it, right? What do they have approaching level 20?
Oh man, Deathmosh or Torbus. You've upgraded. I mean, you could go for Cold Snap on Jaina. I've actually seen some players get that. You have Buried Alive for the Leorc, which that's a massive one. Silence within the Entomb.
Wait.
Yes.
You read March, so he's gonna have.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, excuse me. I'm Potato.
Yeah, and he's taking all the W talents, which means
you're right.
He's going Turks build. He's gonna be doing that huge March, and he's gonna be unkillable at level 20. So we've got that, we've got Mosh, we've got, I mean, yeah, again, I like Cold Snap a lot. It's just for the cooldown reduction, really. I mean, the extra one is just gravy if you get it.
Leorc is going to Wraith Walk away. Jaina trying to throw in some damage. Hyperion coming in as a defensive tool. The fort will still go down. Tarask very low, but if they die, that's okay. March of the Black King comes out, but they find the last little bit of damage. Ring of Frost from Jaina catches Garrosh's foot. They're going to try and get the burst onto them. No Indomitable to be used as Big Scoop finds a huge face melt into them. Trikslyr very far from the friendly team, and they'll be going down as the Webweaver phase it's just about to end as Mewnfare's used the Dark Flight to go in, but they didn't chase, they didn't use the rest for the kill. Or no, maybe they used Go for the Throw, because they're very high on that cooldown. As Vesper's looking for that flank. Do they have the slows? I don't know if they're going to be able to get this Paradox.
I mean, I don't know. He does have Hand of Freedom to give himself a little bit more movement speed, and he honestly still has those jumps available whenever he wants to go in them. That's also going to give him 30% more damage, healing, really whatever he wants at this point. This is his fight to lose, honestly. I mean, that's exactly where he's at. No one can really threaten him. They don't have enough CC after ETC goes down that he can pretty much just walk through their team and take whatever he wants to. We see Lakefu also playing rather aggressive right now, trying to also help out where she can. She does have Roderick's staff, so she can do just a little Uther stun every auto. An auto every 5 seconds anyway. She can do a little Uther stun.
All right, let's get into Ruby's comms as they're going to be going for boss and more than just that.
Fast as my plush
Anchor.
dinosaur, whatever this is.
Maybe you can get a Grimman toss.
Yeah, I'm looking. Let me know.
This is awkward. We can try. I mean, our boss fight's great.
Focus
Make
in.
sure you have your ults up.
Yeah, I got double roll.
Let's get out if we can.
Yep, trying to get out.
Here, Frost.
Yeah, super exposed.
I'm done. But Greymane's speared in the back. Watch out.
Greymane's on me.
They're super low, but I can't quite go in yet.
I'd probably back out still. We have that boss.
Fuck.
Tell me when you can.
Just get out, maybe?
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm trying to get out. I got body block.
Yeah, just get out.
Nice, good job.
So we got that boss pushing, like,
Oh,
yeah, that was the right call there to
Yeah,
get out, I
yeah.
think.
They have
Good
no
job,
gems
guys.
either.
Can you guys turn in?
Very effective boss play. Good communication coming out from them as well. It was everyone was just kind of, you know, I'm looking for this. I'm zoning back Trikslyr, you know, have your ultimates ready. You could actually see, I couldn't remember who, but there was someone actually kind of playing towards the bottom left, so that way if someone was going to aggressively flank into them, they had the kind of that angle to stop them or at least body block them from coming in. Just really good comms from Lil Rubies in this late game for for game number 2 in our best 3 series.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got the turn-in potential. They wanted to grab a couple camps before turn-in. They're only able to really get the 1 camp, but they can still get this turn-in. They actually took a long time before going for that turn-in. They had it whenever they wanted it, so I'm a little surprised they didn't just go for it while everyone was up top dealing with the boss. But I guess it was just an idea of they valued their teams being alive with that turn-in, because if they would have turned in, they still had a couple people dead. So I guess honestly that was probably a really good call from them, and they thought it out. So now it's just, can they close this game out before level 20? Because ultimately I think PentaNoms has a better level 20 as far as scaling the different abilities they have, the level 20 talents. I mean, Mewnfare has been playing really well on Greymane. Now just imagine him in human form with AoE damage, right?
Power slide, Trikslyr existed and then didn't. That is going to be Ring of Frost out from the Jaina as well. There's a Hyperion, Big Scoop taking a lot of damage, just trying to work their way out of here. Greymane, I believe, went for the throat at some point. Stay while and listen from the Decker Kane. Greymane very low. Vesper in this backline. They don't have Ardent Defender up, but it's like 2 seconds away. Unfortunately, they're going to get picked off. March of the Black King from Tarrasque will come out, but they need to Wraith Walk the short distance to disengage. Unfortunately, they can't really get much value during this time because they have to clear out all these Web Weavers, and that should be enough time for Yrel and the Garrosh to get back.
I mean, this is perfectly fine. This is exactly what PentaNoms wants. Like, if they can get a team fight and win it, whenever there's an objective spawning, then the objective doesn't get anything done, and it gets them closer to their real goal, which is getting to level 20. In their current setup, if they can even win a single 5-man fight, they have a Greymane and a Jaina, 2 of the highest siege damage heroes in the game. So if they do end up winning a 5-man team fight and they just wipe 5 people, they can literally destroy a sidewall down at bot or top lane and go destroy a keep and end the game. And they can do it within 60 seconds if their team comes. They just need to get 1 fight after level 20. They're actually going for a fight before level 20. It's a little risky, but they did end up getting the camp, which will give them 20 spell armor, which will be nice to try to survive through this.
So very low, just so much damage onto them, but the healing from Misspaws will be enough. Greymane actually doing exactly what you're talking about. The siege damage in this Worgen form, really good, but they're now tanking shots from the fort, as well as they have 20 armor reduction. Lakefu chasing onto Greymane, who actually has to Dark Flight into the wall to get themselves a little further away. The mid lane fort will stay alive with a absolute sliver of health. Hold on, I'm gonna click on this. 7 health is what's on that fort right now. That's it.
7 health. That is crazy. I mean, like, literally anything can hit that fort. I mean, even a melee minion could hit that fort, and their structure damage is relatively low, but I guess
like Abathur. That's like 1 hit from Abathur. Level 1 Abathur would have taken down that fort.
Yeah.
20 talent here up, though. And we will be seeing Web Weavers descend in favor of PentaNoms.
Yeah, and we've got, so some of the level 20 talents that we have really quick: Deep Chill, Bolt of the Storm, Hunter's Blunderbuss. We've got that Death March, and then we have the Teleport Twilight Dream. But yeah, we can hop into I don't think we need to, but
let's see what they do with this right now, because I'm just curious. Like, we'll stay out of their comms, we'll keep them focused, because this could be game-ending push for them, and they could go up in this series. They could take the series too well. Let's see. Hyperion is going to be coming out. That Wiz is going to be a Warlord challenge out from the Garrosh as they throw the Leoric away, who gets the March of the Black King off. There's a Horrify out from the Gul'dan, as well as a Stay While and Listen from that Decker. Yrel jumps in. They find the kill onto ETC. Tatskichu very low as well. Is going to just do their best to try and get out of here as Vesper chases in further. That's a triple kill in favor of the members of Lil Rubies, as Mewnfare is the only one still over here. Leoric looks like they were able to get out of dodge, and they were able to Hearth back, but Mewnfare's just taking them on a bit of an adventure. Seems like they're gonna get out of here. Maybe.
You know what PentaNoms has learned right now? They've learned that they should probably respect the elderly.
Yes.
I mean, good lord, that was brutal. They were able to, I mean, that looked so good for PentaNoms, but then everyone was silenced, everyone was blinded, and no one took any damage for a little while, and then boom, Yrel was jumping in, Gul'dan landed Horrify, and just dropped people. That was incredible.
I haven't looked at this in a little bit. What is the healing from these teams? So Lakefu with a casual 92,500, Misspaws with this casual 66.6. So, whoo, that Decker Cane. I'm just like, Decker Cane in its current shape, terrifying. Like, I'm winning games as a healer, and I don't I rarely play healer, but it's just, if you take Ruby and you're able to constantly hit that before, you know, your Heraldric Cube and you get it onto a couple players, you can win most of the team fights because everyone just kind of is in your little potions, or as I like to say on my stream, the floor juice.
Yep, and again, made a huge difference that game with respect to the elderly. So it's like she's covering all of the healing needed. Trikslyr getting rather low here. Popped unstoppable early. Everyone's doing their best to try to keep him alive. He was at like 10 health, and everyone stood right in front of him so that no random damage would have killed him. But man, that was really close. I think they probably just need to back off, reset, and I mean, not too many ultis from either team there. So this is still an okay spot. Great job for PentaNoms being able to clear up that boss without losing too much, though.
So if Caster Math serves me right, they're fairly close to getting a turn on the side of Lil Rubies. So they need a couple waves here, but they're gonna try and get a Titanic Might toss. That's gonna be a Horrify. I think Trikslyr might have bit off a little more than they can chew, so Lashes uses the Horrify to make sure that this disengage doesn't yield them a death, and they don't lose through just like top lane or something like that. But look at this, PentaNoms. These sharks in the water are looking for another fight.
They are. I mean, they're looking at a couple different areas. They're like, we want to make sure that we can do an ambush, but we need to make sure that location's good. And they don't actually know where anyone is. And this right here is wild because Trikslyr knew exactly where ETC was, but ETC didn't know where Trikslyr was. So Yrel's going in, trying to be annoying. However, Trikslyr's getting rather low, and Mewn has that 30% increased movement speed that allowed him to take out Trikslyr, and now they're down a tank. I mean, they still have nearly everything too. They didn't have to use an ult there. I mean, he did actually use his
go for the throw. Yeah, it just came off cooldown because they got the reset onto it. As Big Scoop drops the mosh pit, Ardent Defender comes out from the Yrel, getting them back to full health. She gets the stomp onto ETC. They're gonna find themselves the camp. That's a route onto Leorc, but they have the Wraith walk away. Yrel deciding that, no, this casual 1v3 is exactly what I want to do right now, is they're going to get rooted, but they're taking a lot of damage. They don't have that Ardent Defender, not for another 99 seconds. A silence comes out from Malfurion. Lash is still chasing in. Hyperion on top of a lot of these players. Tarask very low. Will use the Wraith walk towards the northern part of the map, so that way they can maybe split the enemy team in their chase. Vesper mounted up, but they're going to go ahead and get the Ghanaian cocktail to interrupt that, and they disengage, only losing the ETC. Actually, really just trading out 1-for-1, but here's the thing. They got turn-in during all of that on the side of Lil Rubies, and we are seeing a 22-minute Webweaver descend as Vesper finishes that out.
Yeah, and at this point, this is the time where you really want to push out the lanes, because the lanes can go really, really long when all of the forts are destroyed, and that decay can be huge. If your Webweaver spawns right next to your keep, you can guarantee that Webweaver is going to get nothing done. And so this Webweaver top is going to get nothing done. So now it's their time. They push bot a little bit. They have mid pushed a little bit. And this is where something needs to happen. Because if they don't do anything major with this Webweaver, they're going to have a really tough time. It's going to turn into a 50-50, right? Both of these teams are closing in. We see Garrosh going for a bit of a flank right here. Tries to go for him. Grabs a throw onto two of them. Taunts two of them. A ton of damage onto Mewnfare. And that could be Mewnfare getting taken out. That is an amazing Horrify coming out from Lashes. And this is looking like what they wanted to do. This is exactly what they wanted to do. They got the turn in, they forced a fight. This is level 20s, 2 of the enemies are down, and there's a good chance that they could take this and turn this into a game that's also ETC getting dropped, and Liam is not stopping. Liam is going to just stay continually doing as much damage as possible, and now they're going to be able to push mid and also push bottom, and if they can stagger even one more kill, this could be game, Baha.
They have bottom lane keep going down. Mid lane's already being assaulted by these Webweavers. Vesper just jumping around, keeping that armor up. Tarask just about to respawn, but still, that's going to be Greymane and ETC down for the next 21 to 36. Hyperion comes out. Yep, that's a... The core is going to be following here as they're going to jump right onto that. Ardent Defender, everything's on the core, and that's going to be 1-1. Lil Rubies tie up our series here. GG. Well played.
Oh yeah, I mean this is an incredible game, and we saw why you can't give Liam Yrel, but we also saw you might not want to give Lakefu Deckard either. I mean, both of those were terrifying. Every fight that PentaNoms thought they had at post 20 was, oh, you're all asleep, you all wake up, you're all silenced, you're all blinded, and you guys lose the fight. And so they pretty much had to jump past Deckard to do anything. And if they jump past Deckard, it was like, well, she just smacks you with a staff and you're stunned. You know what I mean?
God, I just like I was looking at the build as the game progressed, and I was just like, yeah, you know, you like even just the 16 talent tier is just so ridiculous. I'm sorry. Like I was looking at that, I was like, yeah, all right, well, you're gonna get the stun off of that. But even then, just to be able to get the ancient blessings value during those team fights for the Rainer, just that was so very well done. Currently, I'm just gonna ask our production if we're gonna do a short break in between these games. I was not sure because we actually haven't gone to a game 3 yet for CCL season 2. So just got to figure this out as we are also figuring out what these teams want to do for game number 3 here, asking the PentaNoms if they want first pick or map pick priority. So thank you all so much for hanging out. We are actually nearing our donation goal. So thank you all so much for supporting. Thank you all for cheering. We really, really appreciate it. The sub bombs, the follows, everything. We love you all so very much. But we're going to go and throw it to a very, very short break. We're going to be back and hopefully set up for game number 3. We'll see you all soon. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back from. We did a little bit of a short break. We just want to make sure that every one of these players got back into this game. We're going to a game number 3, and it looks like we're going to be heading to one of my favorite maps, which is Infernal Shrines. I really like Infernal Shrines. I mean, Baha, what do you think about this map? What's your favorite piece about this map?
Mostly just the team fights that you get. Like early game rotations are very similar to Tomb of the Spider Queen, but you sometimes get ganks into top lane because we're just kind of flipping our map. But the big team fights around the shrines, that's the one thing that I always get so much more excited for, because the fact that it's going to be 5v5s. You also see different heroes here. Like Mephisto actually has more of a priority on this map than many other maps because of his cooldown reduction and the 5v5 fights that he really benefits from. So overall, like I'd say it's the shrines themselves and also the team fights. Like rotations are pretty fun on this map as well because there's more camps, more timing, so it's a little bit more strategic with that. But overall, hero pool is a lot different, and it's just it's an exciting map because it can be anyone's game.
Oh yeah. I think that's one of the major pieces that I like this map is, in my opinion, this map has the largest hero pool of any map, purely because so many things can work. You have AoE that you need to do to win the objective. You need sustain, but you can also run shorter team fight heroes because the fights are on a timer. 40 skeletons, right? 40 of the objective is all you need to close out that objective, which means that that objective is on a pseudo timer. Alexstrasza gets popular on this map because she can kind of hold the objective for about 15 to 20 of that objective, which means almost half of the objective is won just by pressing a single button on Alexstrasza. I mean, naturally you have to press more, but I mean, the button itself gives you that impact. So that's the cool part about this map. It's got such an amazing roster pool. So many of the heroes can find a purpose on this map, which is great. I mean, I've even seen in the competitive scene a Gazlo get a lot of value on this map, holding the objective, setting up ahead of the objective, and people just couldn't get up there. And then he also turned off structures after level 13, which who knew he even had that talent? We don't see enough competitive Gazlos to see some of the wild things he can bring to the table.
No, it's like people like you'll see them drafted on Volskaya Foundry. It's like, why Gazlo? It's like, well, you know, you can get hired goons. So you can, you can get hired goons, which everyone's just like, wait, what? And it's the same value as well, not same. It's actually I think 10% less than Sylvanas' because she has the max was 60% and his is like 50 or something. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head 100%. But we're waiting on one player really quickly. I can't find them in my friends list. Maybe if I scroll up to alphabetically where they should be. But either way, let's go ahead and actually look at our standings while we're waiting for one player. They might have restarted their PC because I'm not seeing them online whatsoever. But you can actually see the standings right now. This is how it currently sits. This is fully updated as well. This is with our matches that we've had thus far. So this is going to determine our seeding for our page playoff bracket for next week. So I'm super excited about this. We can kind of figure out who's going to be our 1 through 4 seed. But that's how it stands. And we will be getting into, after this best of 3, we'll take a short break and we'll come back with Not Safe for Work from Home versus Big Ding Energy. That's going to be an awesome matchup as it wasn't Big Scoop I was missing. It was Lashes. I swapped them to the wrong team initially, and I was like looking for the... Anyways, we're here. We got everyone ready to go. We'll find out if the teams are ready, but we're going to Infernal Shrines. Paradox, let me ask you kind of the same thing. Any hero... Well, actually, let me ask you differently. Any heroes that you're excited to see on this map?
I mean, Alexstrasza, I think, is the thing that we're going to be looking at, right? Probably just because Lakefu has dominated with Alexstrasza on this map several times now. So I would expect that's one thing that we're going to be looking at. Another thing is because we have been seeing the Garrosh. Garrosh, you feel safe behind all those minions, but they're actually not minions. Garrosh cannot throw the objective at all. Any of those things from the objective. So you feel safe behind them, and then Garrosh walks up and just throws you. So Garrosh is another one. But I do like big AoEs. I like mages. So you mentioned Mephisto. Kael'thas is something I would expect. Anything like that is really what I would like to see from this particular game is Alexstrasza and stuff like that. I mean, just big AoEs, just chucking it out there. I'd imagine Liam, if Yrel is banned, I'd imagine Liam would be playing Sonya here.
Ooh, Sonya's good. Leoric's good. Malthael actually has a lot of viability here as well with the double soak potential with On a Pale Horse. So that way your team can maybe stay a little bit longer, grab a camp, or even set up for a potential gank into mid lane or something like that. They're going to get rid of the Garrosh, though. They respect Trikslyr's Garrosh here.
It was pretty good. I mean, I think it didn't have a lot of help to get him in there and not a lot of help to get him out, and he still played really well despite all of that. Normally, Garrosh is built with a team comp that runs around a Garrosh, so having Garrosh kind of being thrown into another team comp, they've done really well. I do want to point out, Grubby, thank you so much. 672 on that host, that raid. Really appreciate that. That is always awesome. If you guys are unfamiliar with Grubby, I would definitely check him out.
Yeah, and also thank you to Neo for the $30 tip. Very much appreciated. Going towards the players, increasing that prize pool a little bit further. But Kael'thas, so some comforts being removed here, but as well as some strong heroes overall. You know, Joanna, just this map. I mean, any map with Joanna realistically is just so very strong. But still, we actually see a Genji ban. Now, Genji got changes today, but you and I were talking. We're like, I don't know if it's enough to pull them up pull them up to be, out of the dumpster where they kind of have been. Let's be honest. Like, we're not going to sugarcoat this. Genji has been very, very low in priority, and does this patch put him up further? We'll have to see, but numbers-wise, looking at the changes, it just doesn't seem like enough. I'm always one of those people that will always argue, like, hey, let's play it a couple times and see how it goes, but you're reporting, Vikings changes might not be notable either. So we'll have to see what those, but that's a whole conversation for later as Yrel was stolen away on the right-hand side, Deckard and Gul'dan on the left. I actually love the Deckard from last game, and Lashes looked really comfortable on Gul'dan.
Yeah, no, I mean, those both worked out. I really was expecting an Alexstrasza, but I think Lakefu's just going, nope, this worked. I'm going to stick with this. I'm not even going to risk the Alexstrasza. And so we end up seeing Tatskichu on the Rainer. We've been talking about it. Zul was open.
On Infernal Shrines? I
didn't even realize it.
Is this main tank Zul?
And that's what it looks like, right? Because they already have a solo laner, and now they have Zul, so they're probably gonna have to force it into main tank. I mean, you can run it in the 4-man and go Q build, but that doesn't really come online until like level 13, where your Qs are hitting multiple times. It is kind of a mage build.
Or something.
Yeah, you can kind of go like a mage build. It has a surprisingly high win rate, even in competitive, but most of the time you just go swipe, 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 and out heal everything. So I'm guessing they pushed into the solo lane, or not the solo lane, this main tank.
I'm confused by the Jaina ban. I'm not gonna lie here, because Big Scoop's a main tank player. Misspaws is a healer. What's like? I just don't know. Like I guess the Jaina does pair well with the Rainer, so there is that factor together. But I don't know. Like maybe they just wanted to get.
I mean, maybe they think that the Zul is main tanking, and they're gonna swap it over and just have Mewn on the Rainer.
Like maybe a Big Scoop will swap over, then like Mewnfare is on Jaina or something. I don't know. Like I'm trying to like piece it together in my head. Like it's just like I keep shifting things, and it's just like wait, but no. So we'll have to see how the rest of that draft comes out. But ETC was grabbed with the Greymane as well. Paradox, this is a very deadly composition. Power slide from ETC, Greymane can dive in. Gul'dan has a lot of good burst damage from the backline. Deckard Kane is set up and slow for, has CC and slows. This is looking very, very terrifying on the side of Lil Rubies. What is PentaNoms going to bring out here?
Honestly, I mean, I would like to see the Anduin. I mean, I know it sounds weird. Oh, they're going heavy frontline. I mean, you can even go with the Lucio if you have this much frontline. We've got the Whitemane though.
Would be awesome though.
Yeah.
Because you have Frost Presence activated on Arthas, and they're just chasing in, slowing, so that we have like even faster. Oh, that'd be disgusting. But still, Whitemane, not a bad pickup, and there's Sonya. But it's Infernal Shrines. Like, how can you like? It's hard to argue against the Sonya on Infernal Shrines, in my opinion. Like, Wrath of Berserker is insanely powerful, but even then, just her wave clear, her shrine clear, like you win an initial team fight over the shrine, you leave Sonya behind, and you let your Greymane, ETC, Gul'dan, Deckard all siege into the front gate, while that way the Sonya can clear out the shrine, and she spins to wins, and then brings the Punisher with them. Like, I said that PentaNoms is going to take this 2-1. But I feel like I might need to revise that. Like this draft feels very terrifying in favor of Lil Rubies. I don't know about you, Paradox.
I kind of agree. I mean, what I usually think of Whitemane these days is that she's an anti-burst healer, right? You get a bunch of heals out, and then you blow all your mana to just keep your entire team up for a short amount of time. And you're going against Gul'dan and Sonya, who can take these really long, drawn-out fights, and Deckard could emerald your burst. I mean, it's going to come down to skill matchups for so many of this, but I'm going to start off. I'm going to introduce Lil Rubies on the left side, blue team. We've got Trikslyr on ETC, Lakefu playing Deckard, Kagirii on Greymane, Liam playing his account Vespertine on Sonya, and then Lashes playing Gul'dan again.
On the right-hand side, we got the members of PentaNoms. We are going to be seeing Tarask on the Yrel. We've got Tatskichu on the Rainer. Misspaws will be on the Whitemane. Mewnfare is going to be on the Zul, and Big Scoop on the Arthas. Just for everyone at home, Tarask is Kyle, as we will probably say, and Big Scoop is Tim as well. Tim from Heroes of Fitness. So there you go. If you're wondering why we also kind of clarify some of the names, because we'll say Liam, we'll say Vesper. So just so you all know, so some of these players have double names for us. So Sonya immediately goes into top lane Paradox. They don't even really care about the 5v5 in this mid lane. They're going to start soaking, and they just want R to be up there.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, that's the thing. Liam, oftentimes when he plays Sonya, it's all about just value. Value on the objective, value on soak, and trying to keep everything in the game. Now, the benefit is once you start getting into those later levels, he can dive into the backline and pretty much ignore everyone, except for what backline are you going to dive into? This is a triple frontline team that honestly, they only have the Rainer and the Whitemane in the backline, and they could honestly just charge right up into that front line too. So the early portion of this game, like you said, just double soaking, teams keeping it up. We do have that 4-man Zul, and ooh, it's a pretty good route.
I actually love the Howling Blast with the Bone Prison setup because typically, like, Bone Prison, it has that cast time on it. There's like you hear the groans of the Bone Prison starting to capture you, and you can kind of walk away a little bit. But the Howling Blast to kind of set them up and be like, cool, you're rooted, and now you're rooted again on top of that. I like that overlapping CC, and we'll see if that's going to happen into the later half of the game. But right now, it's just experience soaking between lanes, and Kyle actually rotating down into mid lane to help push things out a little bit faster, but Trikslyr is just going to be harassing Big Scoop. They're going to be able to disengage from that one.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, nothing too crazy. I do agree that double root is going to be very impactful. I mean, either way, either you root to make sure that the Zul's root comes off in a place that's a little bit more favorable. But we do have a 4 versus 1 right here. He does not have any of the healing talents yet, so he can't just sit there and swipe them. And Zul doesn't really have any escapes, so all he's really doing is delaying the inevitable or making some space.
During that time, they were able to grab the camp on the right-hand side, so they've got some mid lane pressure. We do have Kyle in mid lane clearing things out as Vesper's trying to push up the wave. Does get hit, and actually did go into tough as nails at level 1, which I personally think, like, in some of these situations, armor versus armor is a very good way to kind of deal with this. Like, I've talked about, you know, Sonya going into, like, Samuro in top lane on many maps, and tough as nails I think is a very good way to deal with it, especially because Way of the Blade at level 1 is going to be reducing your armor up to -15, so just tough as nails kind of mitigates a little bit of that. But what I want to point out here is going to be speed metal for the ETC. No increased knockback by 50% with loudspeakers. They're going to be increasing the nearby ally movement speed by 20% for 2 seconds. Sorry, I was looking at minimap. I was looking at too many things at once and trying to read what the actual specifics of that talent were. But first Punisher will be Arcane and in bottom lane.
Yeah, I mean, that talent is really good, but it's usually picked in the solo lane. You jump in and you could dive into their backline, utilizing that global. You normally want the other one to peel off, and against triple melee, I feel like the bigger knockback would have been much better for peeling, but Trikslyr's got something else in mind. Trikslyr's a solid tank player, and he has his ideas. Maybe he's using that so he could get better moshes, because against all frontline, mosh is going to be great. Death metal is going to be even better against full frontline. So starting off with this objective, I mean, both teams are getting rather low, but 25 of the objective is already going over to Lil Rubies, and we see Liam just pretty much out healing everything with his spins. He's going to be able to get another spin available, and he's also picking up all of these little rubies that are all over this battlefield.
Taras taking a lot of damage. We'll try and get out. There's going to be a root on the far side of this. They actually catch the white main. There's so many low members on the side of PentaNoms, but they're just playing around this little island in the bottom right of the objective. But Zul will go down. The objective does go over to the side of the Little Rubies, and they'll be having this Arcane Punisher pushing into bottom lane. They're going to have the gray main and ETC stay. Okay, Gul'dan stays down here as well. I saw a few rotating into mid. I was wondering if they were going to do what I've seen some teams do, which is maybe siege him with a couple and then split into other lanes, making sure they're pushing out those lanes as much as possible. I do want to quickly jump into top lane because there was the Shaman camp pushing up this entire time. Just want to show what kind of value that got during all this, as they didn't really respond. They wanted to make sure that they did get this Arcane Punisher right away and have this bottom lane siege. And Paradox, they're getting a fort. That's like this. I would say this happens maybe 25% of the time people get a fort. Usually it's like a front gate and that's about it.
Yeah, first objective of this particular map usually doesn't get too much, but I mean, they're doing really well here. They got a couple kills, they were able to pressure that, and they still had Liam double soak during that time, which means not only did they get a full fort, not only did they get a couple kills and the objective, but they also got 2 waves of soak that the opposing team did not get, keeping their experience lead going.
I'm watching this mid lane fight as you were saying that. I was just like, are they going to be able to put Trikslyr in a bad spot here? Because I think that they're trying to play around this. They keep jumping into the far side and waiting for the Righteous Hammer, but they don't go for it. Zul is going to be soaking out bottom lane. Do want to note that there's going to be a periodic catapult through this bottom lane. I believe it's every 3rd wave. As I hit a little, I think it's I think the earth is still shaking here for me. So I had like a little bit of a hiccup for a second, but we're good. As 10 talent here will be coming through first on the side of Little Rubies, as they find themselves a little less than a level over the enemy team.
Yeah, I mean, you just had like an earthquake not too far away from you, and I was like, I was like, when you were like, oh, there's internet issues, and then someone messaged me and they're like, I wonder if those internet issues is because of the earthquake, and I was like, where do you live again?
You know, so, just like not too far north of it. But anyways, we do have that 10 talent here coming through. So what does this mean And will they be able to, oh my god, will PentaNoms be able to have their 10 talent tier for the next Punisher in mid lane, which will be Frozen?
Frozen's a really big one in the mid game because it allows you to not have to deal with all these tower mechanics. It also allows you to just push with it, especially if you have any sort of lead. It's really, really great. Mortar is the best to have in the late game, which is, I mean, we just had an Arcane, we're having a Frozen, which means we'll probably have a Mortar in the late game. So if all three of these are won by Lil Rubies, this game's probably over. Which means PentaNoms really needs to win at least one of these. This would be a pretty good one for them to win as well. But they're going to have to be able to deal with that Sonya, or else she's going to continue to just free win these objectives and spin without any issues.
Well, we saw in the last one that you were noting, you know, she was just spinning and healing and also picking up all of the potions as well as the small ruby potions. And they also went in, and at that point it was level 4. They only had Hurricane. At level 7 they got Life Funnel, so increased the healing of Whirlwind by 35%. And that Life Funnel, when everyone's grouped up, which feels like they have been a little grouped up in some of these shrine fights, really benefits Vesper quite a bit. But they're going to grab themselves this camp in the top lane. There's no announcement for the objective, but we shouldn't be too far off from that. Might be seeing actually, okay, no, Greymane's going to take the safe rotation out of there. I was like, I wonder if they're, because you could see Big Scoop was maybe setting up for an aggressive play into the enemy team, but they're going to back off, grab their Bruiser camp, and they themselves will prep for this mid lane objective. Let's jump into the combos a little, Rubies, because they're already kind of prepped for this.
Fool, I'm not there. I'm gonna clear up top.
Okay. They're above me.
Just don't fight them while I'm not there. Don't fight them.
Yeah, get out,
Play
get
super
out.
slow.
Alright, they're activating.
Yeah, I'll be there now. We have top player, you know. I'm just gonna walk in, just make sure you get the rubies in there. They can't really kill me if I get home.
I'm rooted. Sorry.
Just play shrine, play shrine. Oh, I'm on this guy, I'm on this guy. You hear me, you hear me.
Nice damage. You're holding the back line. I'm healing.
I can't. Oh, Lakefu.
You're fine, you're fine. Play it slow. You're good. Parasite in this.
Keep going,
Get
keep
Rainer.
going, keep
Oh,
going.
Tasky,
I've got like no mana.
Okay, play
I
on
gotta back
shrine.
out here a little bit. I'm
That's
gonna
fine.
tap. I'm gonna tap.
Okay.
If you need to, I have heals. Come to me.
Sorry, Lakefu.
Every 2 seconds. That's fine. We got 2 for 1. That was a really good trade.
Yeah. Shrine now. If they fight this, they're destroying.
Pretty good comms right there, but a little chaotic as they got into that fight. And Paradox, this looks like it will be another Punisher for the members of Lil Rubies.
It is looking that way, and again, if they get these 3 Punishers in a row, they're looking to close out this game really early, and that's another quick kill that's going to allow them to have a really impactful objective here. I mean, this is going to turn off some structures, it's going to hop over, it's going to jump on Arthas, and they could actually charge in if they wanted to and just zone everyone off. When you have a Wrath on Sonya doing a lot of damage to these structures, I mean, they can drop these structures so quickly if they want to continue pushing with this. And it's still a half health Punisher, but instead decides to go continue getting that soak, continue with those leads. That's going to put them at 16 to most likely 15 for this next objective, which will be really hard to deal with. So this is a time for PentaNoms to make a play in between these objectives.
They've got to find one while they're on this even 13 talent tier, which will be in just a second. Good call coming out from Lil Rubies. Like, I love this. They're like, we could push into a keep front gate, maybe get the front gate, but let's leave our Punisher, which we know we can see the enemy team dealing with, and let's get a fort in top lane. The only lane that hasn't had a Punisher yet is going to be top lane, but it could be bottom once again. We'll see what happens with the RNG in a little bit. There's like a very, very, very small % chance it could be mid lane again, but it'll either be top or bottom. I think they're kind of banking on that top lane, but even then, they still get a free fort. That's periodic catapult pressure in all 3 lanes now and more passive experience gain for themselves, so they can continue to keep this level lead over the enemy team. And while they're not responding to this, they're just going to keep pushing into top lane. Sonya is going to be seeing that bottom lane is going to be dealing with bottom lane, excuse me, and they'll back off just as everyone hearths back. That's really well played from Lil Rubies.
Yeah. Someone actually posted on Reddit a while back, like the formula for this map of where it spawns and what spawns from it. And while we were able to guess it, that it was top and it is a mortar Punisher, apparently there is some really weird RNG with this map. And I don't know if it was a bug or something, but he was like, yeah, he goes, in one out of every 15,000 games, there is a Punisher that spawns in the same location with the same shrine. And I was like, that's crazy. And then like I was casting a game that it spawned in the same location, and I was like, oh, I've never seen that before. So there is some really weird RNG with this map, but for the most part, it's relatively easy to predict where it goes.
I've had like 4 in a casted game go like top, bottom, and that was the entire game. Like, it never once touched mid. And I was like, wait, what are we doing here? Power Slide from ETC is going to get them out. They do catch the foot of ETC with that Howling Blast. Roots coming out from Zool, but they're right by their front gate. They're not going to step into that. The towers were changed today in our current patch, meaning they do have a 10% damage reduction onto them, as well as the maximum armor reduction is now 20 instead of 40, and that's for the towers as well as the keeps and the forts. So the maximum reduction has been reduced, I guess you could say, as Trikslyr finds a Power Slide. Little small face melt, but they have that speed metal to chase in here. Does Vesper have the spear? They don't connect onto it, and Big Scoop should be able to make it out alive.
Yeah, I mean, we have some interesting talents this game. Like, for a lot of people, I mean, these are some really interesting builds.
ETC's 13?
Yeah, ETC took Encore, which is usually not taken. You want to be able to control where your W's go, and that one sometimes makes your W go in a place that you don't want it to go, because you knock someone back the first time, and then they could step forward and get knocked towards your team, getting a little bit of a gap closer. So that's a little bizarre, but hey, I mean, it's so much disruption against this triple melee team, and it gives another potential knockback to a white main if she tries to step up and use her drain or her clemency. And so it's interesting. The Gul'dan build, we noted it in the previous game. Fell armor at 13. We also have Bound by Shadow, so we get more corruptions out. I mean, very interesting. I did mention we would have the 16 to 15 fight, but PentaNoms is doing a good job. They're double soaking really quick to try to get up to 16 so that they don't just like lose the objective without at least having a fighting chance.
Yeah, they get that 16. They're going to be rolling on in here. I'm just skimming through talents. Nothing crazy out of the ordinary, I don't think. Zool's just going to be going into more of those Curse Strikes. It's just full Curse Strike build for the Zool, but they're going to go ahead and step in this. I'm going to pull away the talents real quick, and let's see what Trikslyr is able to do in defense with this last figure. That's going to be the Poison Nova from the Zool. We have Lakefu split as well. There's a mosh pit, a Horrify, everything being thrown out right now, Paradox, and no one's okay, ETC is going to go down, stay a while and listen from Lakefu's going to lock a couple members down. Greymane went for the throat, but wasn't able to find a kill. Lashes throws a Fell Flame backwards, finds the Punisher, but they're going to lose. Actually, no, Lashes is still going to be living here. Vespertine should go down. The Punisher actually, helped them out so much that they're going to be living through all of that. There's also a ton of healing out from Lakefu. Mewnfare actually goes down in the back line. They're turning this around. They lost 2, but they still find the pick onto Zool. That's massive, Paradox.
It really is. I mean, they did play this pretty well. They got 2 kills out of it. But at the same time, I mean, this is going to be a Mortar Punisher. It's 13 minutes. It scales really well. Mortar Punisher scales better than any of the other Punishers as far as damage goes. If any of those land at this level, it is going to do a decent chunk. And but yeah, I mean, Lakefu getting Deckered again is just doing so much healing this game. You can't ever deal with Liam because Liam's just sitting there spinning, out healing everything. You finally get burst on him, and then there's a Ruby that goes out, and Liam's back to full health again. And it's crazy. This shouldn't be end.
There's no way. Taraska gets out of there with 100 and something health. Punisher's on core. Vesper spinning to win. There's going to be the Divine Reckoning from White Main, but they back off. Core doesn't take any damage. Just a little bit of shielding onto them. Mewn gonna find a root onto ETC. Loudspeaker actually doing exactly what you said. It actually kind of pushed Mewn right into a Trick, but they don't have any follow-up CC because Big Scoop wasn't able to land the Howling Blast, and that'll be a disengage. But they do get the keep in top lane in favor for Little Rubies. That's going to be consistent catapult pressure coming in through that lane, and these catapults are hitting for 266 in auto currently.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be wild. I mean, at this point, Lil Rubies, they are just painting the map blue. They have the experience lead, and they will hit level 20s first. That means again, death metal is gonna be huge. ETC's dying, and he's always dying against melee. So if he's dying against melee, that means that he's always going to get an uninterruptible mosh pit on at least one person. And so death metal is going to be insanely strong. We've got Haunts from Gul'dan, and then we will likely also be seeing the Respect the Elderly. And that's all they have to do right now is not fight, get 20s, and this is their game. I mean, unless PentaNoms can forcify right now and do something crazy.
Well, let's see. I mean, stranger things have happened. I do want to quickly note for anyone that might have missed it, ETC has finished the Proc Rock at level 1, 29 out of the 40 stacks on the Echoed Corruption for the Gul'dan. The Arthas did finish the Frozen Waste from level 4, and I believe that's all the questing talents we have. So just, if you're wondering and you were listening and you were like, what's Gul'dan at? There you go, 29 out of 40, still building those up, but they're very, very close. 20 talent tier is nearing, and actually Trikslyr just gets the power slide out, they disengage, they do exactly as you're saying. They don't want the fight, they want the waves to crash into them, they'll be able to pick up all the experience, and then they'll be ready for the mid lane Punisher, which will be Arcane.
It will be Arcane. I mean, Arcane's a wild one. I mean, it's one of those, it's one of the most annoying to deal with, because it's like you can dodge the roots for the one, you can dodge the mortars for the other, but if you dodge Arcane, it takes such an amount of effort to walk away or walk around, and it's like, they're just so annoying, and there's so many of them. Now, they did nerf its damage a little bit, but still, I mean, it scales, and it's going to be really terrifying at this point. But it looks like both teams will be 20 by this objective.
Oh, absolutely. Also, Torbus for ETC. Okay. I mean, you drop that Mosh, and they're like, oh, the ETC missed the Mosh, and then all of a sudden, Mosh is on top of you. They're going to grab a fort in bottom lane real quick just to try and build up that experience. Also, passive experience gain, also catapult pressure to match out. So at least that lane isn't a big worry, as they will be in mid lane, but still half a level away. Shrine up in 14 seconds, Paradox. Let's, I was going to say, let's go into PentaNoms comms, but we have to get to 20, so maybe like right as they hit 20, we'll jump in there? I'm not sure about this one.
I think that's a pretty good call. They have to fight here. This is the last fight that they have. They need to hit 20, and this is the last fight that they get. So I do think this will be good.
Let's get in.
As your rel here, heal off of our healer.
Sonya's X. What is she doing?
Yeah, okay.
She's going
I'm
forward.
gonna go defend core.
God, they're really shitting on us. Nice.
We've got objective lead right now.
Oh no, he just slid on
I
me.
am dead.
I'm gonna be dead too. Oh no. That's not good. That's not good.
Alright, only play is defend the lane. At least this has to go through a keep, I guess.
Well, I thought that they had a good entrance into that, but just that tour bus. That's exactly what I was saying. They dropped the Mosh, and they're like, oh, they missed the tour bus, and then they power slide on top of the one person that would have been able to interrupt it easiest.
Yeah, it honestly, I mean, it's really, really difficult to deal with, and they played it very well. Now they're out of ults, and on the opposing side, there are still 2 ults available, except for Whitemane is one of them, and Whitemane is down. This is, I mean, it's still at 80% health right now for this Arcane Punisher. They can't really defend against it. They're still waiting on 2 more people. It jumps on Yrel, and now it's just a matter of, can they disrupt this enough? Can they defend? Are these mechanics on this core going to be enough to stall out this game, or is this going to be the end? We do have a Respect to Elderly that's going to silence Arthas as well as Zul, and that is going to be game in a 2-1 fashion. Lil Rubies takes this best of 3.
GG's, what an insanely good first match of the evening. We've got another best of 3 after this, but first things first, as always, after these games, let's get you updated on all of the current standings for our evening thus far, and then we'll go ahead and pull someone from Little Rubies here in just a second. Let me actually get a message out there and see. Oops, that's caps lock.
Yeah, I mean, this was an incredible game. We were worried about it in the beginning. It looked like they were having a tough time in that first game. Then the second game, they were like, oh, we got Yrel. It was a pretty good one. We got Deckard, we got Yrel. And now, I mean, this last game, it just showed. I really think that this is a team comp that they are finding their comfort on. Lashes plays a pretty good Gul'dan. Those Horrifies were hitting 3 or 4 people. Now Liam's back on the 2 heroes that he's done really well with, and Lakefu's getting that Deckard every time. It's in the name, right? Like, they might as well at least try to get Deckard for Lakefu, because it's in the name. And I think this is the team comp right here. I think they found what's working, and they should stick with it, because this will give them a good shot.
Well, you can see the updated scoreboard right now. We haven't gotten to our not safe from work from home versus Big Ding Energy matchup, but Little Rubies, they're going to be holding a score of 2-5 and PentaNoms with 1-6. So that's going to be the set standings for those two. But before we get into our next game, Paradox, we have a nice little interview with Trikslyr. So let's go ahead. We're going to rip Trikslyr out of their comms and pull them into us and say, hello, congratulations on your 2-1 victory. How you feeling?
Hello, congratulations on your 2-1 victory. How you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. It was really hard fought. Paradox and I had a really good time.
Yeah.
Let's go. First things first. Game number 1. Dragonshire. Really good back and forth on that map. And was it just the Junkrat display? Like, what was it for that game that just kind of was the hindrance? Because it seemed like you had so many good team fights, but it was just constantly like you weren't able to get that last little bit of damage. Was it the Kael'thas? Was it the Junkrat concussion mines?
Do you want a real answer or do you want PR answer?
Whatever you feel like.
You know,
it's the CCL. I mean, if you want to,
what do you want? What do you want, Hared?
PG-13.
Let's get. Can you go a little in the middle? Can you give it like a kind of a PR, like a
like halfway,
like a 50-50?
Okay, so
you know, like Wendy's PR, right? You know, like Wendy's, like Wendy's PR level, where like you throw a little bit of shade, but you still keep it like kind of professional.
So our team as a 5U unit is working really hard at becoming better at working together in our team fight. We all play like solo queuers and we suck ass at playing as a team. So one of the problems that we have is that we clump up really dramatically, and they picked a character that's really good at stomping people that are clumped up named Kael'thas. Kael'thas hits W, we run into each other, we die, and we yell in comms. So we stopped doing that in game 2 and game 3, and that's how we won.
Very true. I will say that's just last thing from me, at least question-wise. There's not even a question. Your Garrosh, that was just getting banned out in game 3.
Oh, you like all those ints? You love that? That was nice, wasn't it?
I'm not like, I don't care about that. Like, that's still, you had massive plays consistently throughout Tomb of the Spider Queen.
That was all Liam, honestly. I felt like their entire game plan was delete Trikslyr, unsub to him, unfollow him, and delete his Garrosh. And they banned it in game 3. I was like, actually, thank God, because I did not want to play that character again after game number 2.
I thought it was good. I thought it was good, but that's it for me. Paradox, any questions for Trikslyr?
I mean, the big one is we saw week 1. You guys did well. Couldn't really close out the games fast enough. Week 2, you guys changed up the rosters a little bit. Week 3, you went back to week 1's rosters. Are you kind of feeling better going back to the rosters, or what are your plans for the role swaps that happened between week 1, 2, and 3?
One thing that this is something new for me. I've never been on a team that is pretty good at the game, right? Like, I feel like everyone on our team can play pretty well. They do their thing, and when they get in their storm leagues, they are comfortable. They're having a good time. They're laughing. And what we found out is that when we get into a competitive environment, some of us shut down, and it kind of infects the rest of the crew. So the role swaps were made to try and address that, and it didn't work out in season number 2 or week number 2, because we also found out that apparently our opponents want to win the game too, which puts a big freaking thorn into our foot when we're trying to win. So thanks a lot, opponents, for trying to win. And so they like scattered us and banned out a couple of our power picks that we're working on. So we rolled back because this is our best that we can do with the team. And I think everyone's been putting in a lot of work and doing their best to show off what they can put in. And all we had to do is stop thinking about competitive and start thinking about having fun a little bit. And I think that showed today, because we definitely played better as a team of 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think you guys did really, really well. And I just really want to give congratulations to you guys. So any shout outs?
Shout out to love, happiness, and the world hopefully becoming a better place in the next couple weeks. That's all I got to say.
You sweet, sweet man. Thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on your 2-1 victory. We'll see you all next week for the in our page playoff bracket. Congratulations once again.
Hi.
Alrighty, we threw Trikslyr back in with the rest of his friendly team. Sweet, sweet man. I also wanted to say during that interview, Lash's Gul'dan, I said it in one of the games, Lash's Gul'dan in games 2 and 3 was very, very good. Like, those Horrifies really set up a lot of win conditions for that team. So I like this overall. Yeah. Tatski rated over with a few viewers. Thank you so much, Tatski, for bringing your frenzy over here. And also thank you for the subscription. Everyone in chat, just wish Tatski a happy birthday, because you should do that. And Darkshire came in with 1,000 bits, and I missed who said, well, who's 1,000? O'Malley Music is 1,000 bits, and then Darkshire with the 500. Thank you all so much. But that's not it for us this evening. Paradox.
Not at all.
What's next?
So we have our two 4-0 teams that are going to be clashing against each other. We have Not Safe for Work From Home versus Big Ding Energy. Both of these teams are 4-0. So this is going to be a crazy series, and we will be seeing that very soon. We're just going to do a short break and we will get to that. So don't go anywhere because this is going to be an intense match.